Truck boxes. Truck boxes, truck boxes. I built a lot of them. But I wanted to make this video here to discuss why some of you are not getting happy with the boxes that you're getting. Excuse me. You see I got so many boxes all around here, it make no sense. But this is my truck box. One of my truck box designs. I believe this is Pier, this is your box. It is a 2011 Chevy, I believe, 2500 heavy duty. But let me explain to y'all what my design, my understanding with truck boxes. Truck boxes, to me, to be effective, must have a straight port. They cannot have a port on the front. I have built many boxes for people who have bought various enclosures, underseat enclosures from other companies, and especially the ones that had the port in the front. They say same thing I say. It sounds like shit. The one that is not the correct port area, nor without the box not having enough depth. It's not, a truck box doesn't have a whole lot of depth, and depth is from here to here. So we're not having that much depth. If you put a bend in that port right in the front, you're gonna get a high tuning. And I don't even know how they get in the tuning that they say they have. Some of them don't even have a bend. They just have a little small slit here or a real nice beveled opening that they put here, and they tell you it's tuned to 33 hertz. And it looks like one of my high output enclosures. And you're saying, yeah, it's probably pretty much funding the myth that you can just put any size hole on a box and say whatever the tuning is, and that's not true. So with my enclosures, you're gonna get 2 or 4. It's going to be about 49 and a half inches long under the seat. The transmission hump is a no-go for me because it inhibits the port, which the port in this box is ported to the passenger side, and it stops right about here. All right, it's 28 inches. That length of 28 inches to attain the desired tuning in the low 30s, whether it's 31, 32, 33, 35, whatever, is needed. That length that it has is not going to be able to do that without running into that hump, because it must be straight. The cross-section area of a port must stay the same throughout the length of the port to maintain that tuning. You can't just arbitrarily bend it, and I don't want to get in that, but you just can't arbitrarily bend it and say you're going to keep that same tune or increase or decrease the cross-sectional area and say, yeah, it's going to wind up with a 33 inch tuning. No, that's not the case. Also, most vehicles, most underseat enclosures, truck enclosures, operate fine with 2/8 or 4/8. 6.5, of course. You can put 4 6.5s, 4/8. You probably could do maybe 6 6.5s, depending on how much depth you have front to back. My 8-inch enclosures deal strictly on net volume, meaning that I'm not going to put 2 10s in a down 5 box or up 5 to the seat under the seat of a truck. Why? Because you do not have enough airspace for the cone area. Now, the best sounding shallow subwoofer, in my opinion, is out. It's either going to be the Sundown or the J Audio. Both of them do pretty much the same thing. They sound good inside the vehicle. They're not going to give you no beating down the street bass. It's not going to happen. Whereas you get 2 8s, people will hear you before they see you. The reason why is because when you got a subwoofer with the cone facing down, it's muffled. Whether it's facing down to the floor or facing up to the seat, it's muffled. And that's going to inhibit the output. That's going to inhibit your sound. So what I believe works is that, let me give you something as an example here. Whether you have a cone, here's a subwoofer for example, in the truck enclosure, and you got the woofer facing down, you're muffling the effect, the bass that's originating off the cone. Or you have it facing up with the seat on top, you are decreasing output of the cone. In some situations that can't be helped. And some people like that sound. I do not like the downfall upfire sound. I don't care no subwoofer. I always want to have the diaphragm facing the listening environment, the cabin. I always want the diaphragm facing the listening environment, which is the cabin. If you listen to any downfire or upfire enclosure, not only the bass muffle, if it's a ported application, then you're going to be listening to a bass that's out of phase with the song. It's not going to sound good, and pretty much all your bass is going to sound the same because your port is supposed to be reinforcing the cone. Your port reinforces the cone in any application, especially in the truck application. Your port's going to be reinforcing the cone, so you want your cone facing forward. And that's what you get when you get the NB enclosure. You're going to get 2/8 or 4/8, the cone facing forward with a significant amount of port area. Let me show you. This is 2. In my opinion, I don't know if it's going to show. This is a 2/8, 2/4/8. The port area is 14 square inches per cube. He's right at 2 cubes, a little bit more than 2 cubes. It's going to sound excellent. In fact, in my opinion, those of you who take my advice and go with 2/8 instead of 4 have a much better sounding depth into your bass than those who run 4. Because just picture it. You do not need a lot of power with a truck enclosure. Because number one, you're basically sitting in front of the woofers. And they're in the cabin with you. How much power do you think you need? I'm going to touch on that on another video. But that's enough for this one. Peace. Get him if you need the enclosure. How to order is text me at 404-694-4818. We'll discuss and talk if I can do something for your underseat enclosure. You can get this same number in the comment section. Peace.